What could Disney teach a social worker? Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Sissybeth, and in this video I'm going to give you my 6 reasons why social work students should do the Disney College program. Now I'm making this video because so many of my fellow students at university have asked me, why did you do the Disney College program as a social work major? That makes no sense. Because most people, when they think of Disney, they think of business and hospitality. Even though every major could probably learn something from the Disney College program. So I put together a list of 6 social work things that you could learn from any role at any of the Disney parks. So let's get into it. Number 1 is a no-brainer: diversity. There are so many people from all over the world who come and visit the Disney parks, be it Walt Disney World or Disneyland. You have so many opportunities to meet people from any place on earth. I'm pretty sure during my first program I met at least one person from every continent and almost one person from every country. But guests aren't the only thing. There's also cast members, and especially in the Disney College program, they have 2 different international programs: the International College Program and the Cultural Exchange Program, which means you could have roommates from other countries. During my first program, 2 of my roommates were from China, and let me tell you, that taught me a lot about living with people who are from a totally different culture than you are. Not only that, I also worked with tons of fellow cast members who were actually going to be opening the Shanghai resort. It was so cool. I also talked to a guy from Nigeria on my way to my apartment complex, and I got on the bus one time after going shopping at Walmart, and it was filled with people who had just landed from Brazil. And I got to have a really cool talk with a girl from Brazil, and it was her first day in America. Like, where else can you get an experience like that? It is so unique and different. Also, Epcot World Showcase, all the cast members that work in there are from those countries. Well, I'm pretty sure for the most part. I've never seen anyone with a name tag that didn't match the country, which is even cooler because a lot of times they're more than willing to sit down and have a conversation about their culture, their life back home, what they like and don't like about what the pavilion represents. It is so neat. So along with having so many guests from other places in the world, even though those interactions could be like only 5 minutes, you can learn so much. But also working with other people from around the world, that's really cool too. So the second reason is practicing empathy. If you are a social work student, in every single social work class, empathy is brought up. It is one of the most important foundations for social work, and Disney is a great place to practice it. But you might ask me, well, how do you practice empathy at the most magical place on earth? Nothing bad happens there. Yes, it might be the most magical place on earth, but there are still plenty of ways to practice empathy, such as lost child, or as Disney puts it, lost parent. You have to practice empathy when dealing with both the child and the parent, because it's so easy for kids to get separated, and both of them are typically terrified. During my first program, I worked baby care, and that's where all of the kids, it was either under 13 or under 16, are sent to wait for their parents. And I cannot tell you how many times I had to practice empathy, because like, you can't get mad at the parent for losing their kid because it can happen so easily. Kid gets distracted, big crowd. I mean, I have seen people push their way between a mother and child holding hands. So there's tons of ways to practice empathy there. Also, people come to Disney to celebrate some pretty sad situations. And I know celebrate's a really weird word, but they actually are celebrating. It could be someone's last trip. It could be a Make-A-Wish trip. And that's a good way to practice some empathy there, because they're going to have buttons, they're going to tell you about it, and so there's some really good practice right there and having to deal with some pretty hard situations. You'll also learn some new ways of using empathy, because remember, a crisis is different for everyone, and so you might have a crisis of someone losing a toy. You've got to practice empathy. Losing their luggage. You've got to practice empathy. So you're going to be practicing it in ways that aren't necessarily something you'll see in your social work career. A great way to practice empathy in situations that you may not see as a crisis, but your client does. Reason 3 is practicing patience. Now, you're going to have to grow very patient while working at Disney, because you're going to be working with guests who have cultural and language barriers. You're going to be working with cast members who aren't doing the work at the same speed as you. You are going to be screamed and cussed at, and you're going to have to learn how to just be patient, let someone explode on you, how to let it roll off your shoulders, smile, and help them. It sometimes can be a really hard thing to do, but actually it makes for some really good stories, and as long as you are patient, you are nice, and you are kind, you're never going to get in trouble. And it's kind of the same thing with clients. We're going to have clients who are going to work slower, who are going to have a lot of barriers, who are going to scream, yell, and curse at us. And we have to have the patience to just let them do it and then help them. So the kind of patience you'll learn at Disney will definitely become handy. Reason number 4, kind of like empathy, you actually might not think about this, but crisis management. Wait, what? Yes, you are going to have to manage people in crisis. Not only guests, but cast members too. I kid you not. During my program, there are 2 crises that I had to deal with that I remember very clearly, that I am so proud of myself for handling, because things will happen. The time I had to call Reedy Creek for a guest. Reedy Creek is the on-site paramedics, because her mother fell and she was really worried, and it wasn't even that bad, and I was the only cast member keeping my cool. In another situation, we had an unattended bag with wires in it that a cast member moved inside our store. And again, I was the only one that kept my cool. There are also 2 roles that deal with crisis all the time: lifeguards and attractions. These roles are both safety critical and deal with crisis all the time. Lifeguards are pretty obvious. They have to jump in the water and save people who are potentially drowning. But how do attractions deal with crisis management? Well, rides break down all the time and people get stuck on those rides. And let me tell you, I know tons of attraction cast members who got better crisis management experience working at Disney than I did in my crisis management class. Looking for some good crisis management training, I suggest looking at Disney's attractions, cause they get some. Then again, you'll also have the lost parent situation. That's a crisis. And like I said before with empathy, there are going to be little things that to a guest are going to be a crisis that you may not really see as one. You know, such as working the front desk and having someone lose their luggage. That's a crisis for them, and you have to figure out how to help them. So there's a lot of things that have to do with crisis management that Disney can teach you. The 5th reason being integrity. Of course, as social workers, we know that we have to have the integrity to help our clients and help them to our best ability. Well, it's the same thing with Disney. Again, you're going to be working with guests who have cultural barriers, and they're going to rely on you to help them, especially in a role like merchandise. I had to help people with our currency. They're trusting that I'm not going to steal from them because honestly, it could be very easy to do. Guests are also expecting you to give them the right information. As annoying as it gets being asked when the 3 o'clock parade is, they're trusting you that you're going to give them a real answer. Well, the parade starts at 3 in Frontierland, and about 3:30 it'll get to Main Street. Those are the kinds of information they're asking you. There's also integrity of working for a large company. Again, they're entrusting that you are going to do your job, that you are going to be respectful, that you aren't going to steal or anything. So integrity plays a huge part in being a cast member, as it does being a social worker. Number 6 is teamwork. Knowingly or not, we work in so many different teams. We've got agency teams, we've got teams within our own agency, we've got community teams. We have all of these different teams that we have to work with and manage. It's the same thing with Disney. You've got to work with your higher ups. You've got to work with cast members in your same role, in your same location. You have to work with cast members who have different roles. So many different teams that you're working in. You learn so much about people and teamwork and how to work together to create magic for guests. And it's pretty much the same thing as creating a support system or a plan for a client. And at Disney, it's a little bit more fun, so you don't realize exactly what you're learning. Alrighty, I also have a bonus 7th reason, but this reason doesn't really apply to all of the roles offered on the Disney College program. More just a few, and especially those that have to do with resorts. So front desk, children's activities, if you're working maybe food and beverage or merchandise at a hotel. So reason number 7 is rapport building. Wait, you're telling me that I can learn rapport from Disney? Yes. Especially if you're working at a hotel, because most people have a vacation of at least a week, and they love getting to know the cast members, and they love when cast members build relationships with them. But you have to learn how to build successful relationships fast, and that's a great skill to learn for social workers. Social workers, we know, the faster we can build rapport, the better quality of support we can give to our clients. And you've got to build it fast here. Because like I said, most people only are there for about a week. But if you can remember their last name as they walk through the hobby, you are going to amaze them, create so much magic for them. And it's the same thing for a ton of different roles in a hotel setting. Especially, I'm thinking like children's activities, front desk, and like lifeguards. If you can build rapport with people, you are going to gain amazing skills. You're going to have an amazing time. You're going to make amazing memories for guests and be perfect when it comes to building rapport as a social worker. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to, you can hit that subscribe button. If you didn't know, I'm actually going back to Disney. I'm going back to Disney this fall as a Photopass photographer. But I am definitely going to be making videos about the Disney College program, about Disney, about social work, and about how Disney and social work go together. If any of those interest you, also make sure to hit that bell notification so that you get notified when I upload new videos. You can also follow me at Instagram. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay magical, everyone. Bye!